And we had Ghana being fully represented in there. I mean, Kim Promise, DJ Andy Dosty, the Godfather, Camidoh, Mr. Hagler, Charlie, full squad.
Oh, Mr. Hagler.
Yeah.
He was there, and he's there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, Mr. Hagler still there. Yes.
But then Mr. Hagler is being a certain man.
Why?
Because last Saturday he was telling me, he couldn't see me at the auditorium. I thought he was there at the auditorium at the TGMA.
Maybe a different auditorium.
No.
Because he was also, on Saturday, he was also at some auditorium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way he was creating the impression that he was at where we went.
Yeah.
He's learning from.
we will speak to Godfather Andy Dosty right now as he gives us more information about what transpired on Saturday in South Africa, Johannesburg. Legends and Legacy Ball. We all saw his performance. We've seen videos of the performance, and we've also played audio for you guys to hear. The intro way bust my mind, but Godfather is on. Godfather, good morning. I can say good day because I don't know the time in South Africa right now. Godfather, good day.
Good morning, baby. How are you?
We're blessed and highly favored over here. How about you, sir?
I'm all right. It's morning. Just a few minutes to 11.
Few minutes to 11?
Come down for breakfast. Yeah. 10 minutes to 11.
Wow.
11. Yeah.
Never knew South Africa was ahead in time. But anyway, how are you feeling after an amazing performance? We've seen videos on social media.
Unfortunately, the reception is not very clear.
We can also hardly hear you, but we're trying to get the message in. But anyway, Godfather, if you can hear me, can you run us through what transpired over the weekend in South Africa?
Unfortunately, I can't hear you.
I think we'll have to work on the connection one more time. But then back into the studio, I was about to ask him, because when we get him back, I want to ask him why he played Touch It was his second song and how it was received over there. And if he did a straight Ghana music set or he had to mix it up because he had different countries or residents also there. But in the studio, I have Adam Chutome here, and I have the man who wrote the story himself, Kwame Dazi.
Me brother.
Who is enthralled.
Yeah, my best friend is here too. My best friend Adam Chutome. I was with him during the weekend, and he was looking fly.
There's this thing about when we're hold on. When we're playing the Camidoh performance, you were saying that Charlie, this song there, big blessing to Camidoh. But I would say that all Camidoh's follow-ups, to me, are far more. I wouldn't use the word better, but in popular term, it'd be me pass, and I'll put
beautiful compositions,
much more.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Adole, Kaba, and the recent one, Nothing Lasts Forever.
Yeah.
To me, musically, appeals to me far more than Sugarcane, which is a popular hit song.
Yep.
And I think most of the time, there's this thing about artists, whenever they get a hit song, a follow-up is, the expectation for a follow-up, most of the time, it becomes a little bit of a challenge because it's like they are trying to stretch farther than they can.
Exactly. Because you set a certain mark that you need to maybe go beyond.
Yes.
Exactly, because you see, it's not easy to set a marking scheme for yourself and then just go beyond that, especially maybe when you're not even expecting to get there at that point in time. You see, so it's more hard work. I think he's still working hard to get into that level because that song was a monster hit. Even now has over 100 million views
officially
on YouTube.
Becoming one of Ghana's biggest. Most streamed
Oh,
or viewed video,
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, so he's
surpassing Adonai by Sarkodie.
Yeah, so he needs more hard work and some grace to do better than that.
I believe there's this thing that I keep saying. Anyway, we have Godfather back on the line. Hello, Godfather. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
this is way better.
Ah, fantastic, Godfather. Amazing performance. We've seen videos of your performance on social media. We've also played some for the listeners, your listeners, as a matter of fact, this morning. And there are two questions I would want to ask before we start the conversation proper. Godfather, you've shared a
They are
story.
not controversial.
But you raised me well.
I know you so well.
You raised me well. First question, Godfather. You shared a story with us here on radio of how you were in South Africa some time back and you played Kiddies Touch It. Then some Bole people can remove you for that side. The second song on your set was Kiddies Touch It. This time around, explain to us using the aid of a well-labeled diagram how you were able to play that song again.
Okay. The first time I played the song, I did a little research. What I usually do is that wherever I go to work, I ask around, especially when I'm in a taxi or any ride-hailing service. For example, Uber or Bolt. So I asked questions and realized that Kiddies Touch It was quite popular. So I added it to my list. There was no way I was going to play Ghanaian songs without that song because I knew they knew the song. And that was how I had to get it on my playlist. So it wasn't, in fact, the first time, it wasn't because of the song.
Okay.
There were a lot of questions raised.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they came, there was a DJ. The first thing he told me was that, do you know why they asked you to stop the music? It is because you were not playing their song. You have to play our song. You were playing too many of your songs.
Okay.
And I said that was what I've been tasked to do, to play only Ghanaian songs. That was my task.
Okay.
And so if they were angry, yes, it didn't fit. It required that action from them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was the reason I had to play Touch It again. Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't you were not removed last time because the viral dance to Kiddies Touch It was a little bit suggestive.
That could also be a factor.
Okay.
That could also be a factor because the viral dance had this explicit.
Very suggestive. Very suggestive.
So that could also be a factor.
Anyway,
but the guy was only guessing.
Oh. Anyway, Godfather, how was the experience? I mean, at the event, the general organization to the legends that were in there. How was the experience like?
It was beautiful. The Southern Convention Center. That was my first time going there anyway, but it was the place is huge, and even they had to take about half of the auditorium at the basement for the event, the down floor. Look, the place is huge. And seeing legends and performing for them, Yvonne Shaka Shaka, Kofi Olomide, Charlie, yo. And there were a lot of dignitaries around. The mayor of Johannesburg, there were representatives from the United Nations, some from Ghana, Afri-Exim Bank, GNP. Yo, Charlie, it was
big.
Huge. Yeah. And other performers, Heritie Watanabe, some from Congo, some from Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, where else? Yeah, and our Ghanaian brothers, Camidoh, Kim Promise, and the Characters Band. Amazing performances, amazing.
Yeah. Was Ghana fairly represented, and how was the reception of the patrons to Ghanaian music?
It was okay. Ghana was fairly represented because quite a number of our Ghanaian audiences, yes, they represented to the fullest. However, some of the performers, like in Promise, this was his first time performing in Johannesburg. And so he had to properly introduce himself. They knew his music, but they didn't know him.
Okay.
For somebody like Camidoh, they knew his music, they didn't really know him. And so if you watch the video, I don't know which of the videos you saw, but when he mentioned for somebody like him, Promise, when he mentioned that, which song else do you want to hear? Which song? And everyone in the auditorium, Terminator, Terminator. They were all screaming Terminator.
Hey.
Do you understand? It told us that they knew his music, but they didn't know him. And even when he got on the stage, I think about the second or third song, he paused and reintroduced himself. That is the first time he's performing. And they were all screaming his name until he played Terminator, and the whole auditorium, man, it was something. For me, when I started performing, it took off gradually. Okay, I think my first 2-3 songs, just some few people were dancing until I realized that, no, wait, where are we? Let's find out where we are. Realize or notice where you are before you play or forward with your performance. So what I had to do was introduce a South African legendary song, Brother Fassy's song. And immediately I started playing. I saw the auditorium. I could see from the crowd people getting up 1, 2, 3, 4 until the whole auditorium were up. Then I followed up with another Yvonne Chaka Chaka song. The most unfortunate part was that while I was playing the song, Yvonne's band were preparing for her performance. And they were playing the same time I was playing. They were also playing. They were doing their sound check. And if you saw the video, I think I've seen one or two of the videos on social media where some of the comments, some Ghanaians were not happy about it when I mentioned that, can the band give me some time? Can the band give me some time? Because I had just started my performance. I was doing a 20-minute performance, but just in the middle of the performance, they were also playing, disrupting my performance. And so when I finished, some people were saying they couldn't really hear what I was playing because what they were playing, there was some sort of interference.
But how is
only
that?
To find out that.
How is that possible? How is that possible for them to interfere with your set? I mean, they're supposed to have done their checks or their sound check before you got on stage.
That's right.
Yes.
The song I was playing, Yvonne was going to perform it. I didn't know her track list, and so they were not very happy.
Oh, okay.
My producer, Mr. Hagler, mentioned that even where they were, the sound had been turned off at that side. They were trying so hard. Seems they were trying to let me know that I should stop playing that song. But look, for me, I don't want to dwell on any negativity. This is a win-win for Ghana. We came here, we shown, and we proved to them that we had represented, and it was a beautiful event. Okay, I just don't want to dwell on anything that may have happened yesterday. Some of the, I think there was a lady, she's a chaperone. We met in an elevator on our way to the restaurant, and she said, she had finished her job, and she enjoyed herself. I'm leaving. I think she's in Cape Town. She said she was leaving Johannesburg. And she said, I enjoyed your performance. But what was happening? There were two ladies, and the other said, what was happening? How come that they were playing, the band was also playing when you were playing? And I said, well, there were a lot of complaints, but hey, at the end of the day, I enjoyed myself. He said, I enjoyed it too. For me, I don't want to dwell on any negativity.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we enjoyed it.
And again, all I wanted to hear was how the crowd received the Ghanaian artists on stage and all the performances, because we've seen videos and we've heard instances where Ghanaians have performed in other territories, and the reception over there wasn't that favorable as against how we receive other nationals when they come into our turf to also perform. How open or how close is the system still over in South Africa? I mean, you've been listening to radio since you got there, I think last week thereabout. How open or close is the system with respect to Ghanaian music? How popular are we over there?
For me, I think we are doing very, very well. Be very honest. We're doing very well. For instance, when Camidoh got on the stage and Kim Promise, I mean, with their performances, you could see, especially, Camidoh has a subtle way of starting his performances. He starts on a wee bit pitch, and a live performance. When he started, the people were all seated enjoying it. Then he introduced himself properly. When he was about playing Sugar Cane, and he did the a cappella, you could hear screams. And we were all shocked, like, wow. I was with one of the characters band members, and the guy said, wow, Charlie, they know the song. Me, Charlie, I shocked. Until the song started, he was joined by dancers, and the whole place, like everywhere. When he performed Sugar King, after performing Sugar King, they did his new song, NLF, Nothing Lasts Forever. That you could tell that. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm listening, Godfather.
You could tell that the people were not very familiar with the song, but just some few people were upstanding and still in the mood to party. So for me, I think our music is doing well. What we lack is a proper representation of the artists. They should be visible.
Okay.
The people don't get to see us often unless there are shows. Of course, yes, they must be here because of shows. But I think there must be interviews. We must be in their faces. Okay, we have to be in their faces. We are not here. We are not represented properly. Yesterday I was with Qbeat, and he was telling me that, and their manager Erasmus, and he was telling us that some of the musicians want to collaborate, and this is a very good step because they are looking for opportunities to collaborate with us. But how do they get the connect? Because we are not here. We need to be here. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Somebody like D Black, he's already here. Okay. Before we got here, he was here. And some of them even came telling us that they met him in a club 3 days ago. They went partying with him. I had already invited him to the program. Unfortunately, he didn't come. I don't know why. But for someone like D Black, you get him getting all the connects. Do you understand? Now that Qbeat and Camidoh are here, I'm very sure they will make some connections. When I was leaving the program, a Congolese DJ approached me and, yo, can I have your number? And I give him my card. Do you understand? And I think these are some ways of connecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know your name.
Yeah.
The next time when they're looking for a DJ from Ghana, they may not even have any difficulty contacting somebody like me.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I think we need to move. We need to move. That's the only
We
problem
need to
we
expand. Okay. Godfather,
Exactly.
thanks a lot for the details this morning. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to all the Ghanaian representation over there. When are you coming back? In fact, if you are coming, buy me South African bread.
Okay. I need not talk much.
Adam has a question for you, please.
Raddy, I was just expecting it.
Come on.
He wants to know the level of blamability.
I beg, it be almost 11. You get something chop. I mean food. Food.
We are not having breakfast. We are at the restaurant as we speak.
So you get something
Hagler,
chop.
and I see Hagler
That's good.
and Charatex Band and Kim Promises managers. They are eating. We're down here. I haven't eaten yet, but they are eating.
I beg, chop something for me. Food. Food. Chop something for me.
Is that the question, or you just want to make your voice be heard? What is the question?
He doesn't have any question. His question is that he doesn't have any question. Governor, thanks a lot for joining us this morning.
Is Kwame Dazi around?
Kwame Dazi is also here.
Oh, Grandpa,
The lady.
enjoy yourself, man.
Kwame Dazi. Okay, right. A lady asked whether you are okay. I just want to let you know, so it's fine. I'll give you the details back door.
Godfather and Dosty on the full line all the way in South Africa. Legends and Legacy Ball over the weekend.
Right?
Yes, over the weekend. Thanks a lot for joining us, Godfather, over the weekend in Johannesburg, South Africa. Amazing events. We've seen videos of it, and we'll share it on our social media platforms as well. Robert Klein is in the building. Over the weekend, we also had the Palms Convention Center. That is first time.
Yeah.
First time I'm hearing, if it's been in existence, but this is the first time I'm hearing industry mixer. So I was expecting
like a mixer bowl.
Yeah, like we'll mix something for you. Mix
At the palm.
They mix their drinks.
Yeah.
The drinks were mixed.
Okay.
Did you have palm wine at the palm?
So because we had a natural base, so people
And we
could tap
put
in.
the drink in our palm.
Yeah, so you could have done that. in a very
As La
state,
Palm.
in a state of calmness.
It's a bars this morning.
Easy bars.
It's a
Take
bars thing.
this.
Okay.
The Gilead's balm.
Don't quit anymore. Make we move forward. Make we move forward. But over the weekend at the Palms Convention Center, UNESCO, I don't know if it's a
You didn't let us talk about Andy Dosty's. Or we should. Okay, let's go.
Charlie.
So I beg. It's okay. It's okay.
If you want to pass a comment or two.
No,
just real quick.
I am just happy that Legends and Legacy Ball is back. You remember it started about 2011 thereabout. Then it got to a time, sometime around 2017, it got missing from the system. They honored Amachi Dede, Kojo Entry, Daddy Lumba, and I think A.B. Krenzel. And then we don't know what happened to them. They vanished from the system. All of a sudden, I heard they had gone to South Africa to organize one and honor Yvonne Shaka. I was like, so Ghana, no, what happened? Aren't they coming to do the Ghana event again? I've been wondering. I'm happy they are expanding, but I've been wondering why they stopped doing one for Ghana.
Some more.
In some more.
I mean, we have Robert here. And
Yeah.
if we're talking about events, I mean, I think he's the best person
I
to.
think that's a whole conversation.
So,
we need to
yeah,
have.
on
because
its own.
you've done,
And rather than it being from any of us,
Yes.
Kwame has asked pertinent questions as a journalist.
Yeah.
Very, very journalistic in in his approach. We will need the people from that particular camp to speak to. Yeah.
But he's done a piece on sponsorship, one of the key tools in running a successful event. And I think event sponsorship you did. That was at, which hotel was that?
Labadi Beach Hotel
Labadi,
last year.
yeah, last year there. But I think I remember you had people come in to express, and potential sponsors come in to express some of the things that they would want to see happen at an event before they come on board.
Yeah.
I followed it a little bit, but I'm sure in our recent times that there's been several events that have been called off due to lack of sponsorship. We know some award schemes also decided to go on a pause a little bit for lack of sponsorship and also agenda and visa, but we know that is happening in our system. Fast forward, let's jump on to the next topic here on Showbiz Review. And amazing events over the weekend. I think we can also touch a little bit on a party in the park. I have seen it, and once we have Robert here, Robert made it known to us that the TGMA, as it stands now, trying to find opportunities where new artists of the year will be given a platform to, as it is, expand. And in the UK, Olive the Boy, Kim Paluta, Wendy Shea, B-Straps, Kiddy, amazing. And then I was on a video call with Kim Paluta over the weekend.
Okay.
And he told me that, Charlie, if UK way he say blow. The
response.
You don't want to leave the stage.
No.
You don't want to leave the
So I feel the why you couldn't time. UK way he say blow. He said,
I took my time to watch the reactions towards people when he was singing. Like even the current song Makoma.
Yeah.
Charlie, crazy.
It's hard. It's
Crazy.
Therefore, the AM fan check.
Now that thing that part they create problem.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
Therefore, at the end, like there's a confusion because
Ask
now
me. I'll
people
explain.
feel like it be shade or some caution to the ladies
Yes.
that Mamon fat therefore at the end. But there is
what does it
another
mean to
argument
you?
from the WhatsApp group.
The boys in the WhatsApp group, what
Yes.
are they saying?
No, this one, the girls in the WhatsApp group.
The girls in the okay.
They
I
say
want to
that
hear from them.
therefore Nangasa the Adiani Chiche. Ireba. And she said, therefore need the chicha. And your boy had the
Some also say that therefore, we 20 CDs there. Yeah, fan check.
Aha. No, you see, therefore be inside the thing near the container investment member. Now where you alive.
Thank you.
Creative problem was.
Thank you very much. Seriously, I think I will table this.
So you see how lyrics are very relevant to even creating conversations around songs.
Yeah.
Somebody says,
The
"Yanko
girl-
pon cry the bonnet chair." No, therefore the on for no fan chat. What's Yanko pon cry bonnet cry the chair?
Congratulations to the team at Aquaba UK. Another amazing event, Ghana Party in the Park. I have a lot of
The numbers were huge.
Numbers were great, crazy numbers. Lots of UK friends
Yeah.
on their Snap, Charlie. I was seeing some of them do the get ready with me challenge, get ready with me to girls bomb slacks, and their day shaking their tail and all that. So at that side, it was amazing. What I saw that really touched me was the collaboration between Kim Paluta, Olive the Boy, and B Straps. Shooting visualizers for each of them. They did that.
Wow.
There and the type of lawyer, like that bond between artists, I think that we should encourage that.
Somebody was trying to, like, during the when we're
Sound
declaring at the Ghana Music Awards, okay, so Olive the Boy and Paluta were in the same category, and then Paluta won, and then we're asking questions about, so now that he's won, how do you feel? I was like, I was literally jamming to his song. That's what Olive said. I was jamming to his song. So I mean, if it's won, it's won. And it's nice to actually see them now even coming together, doing stuff socially. I think that that's what we're talking about. Sportsmanship is very important in this particular space.
Yeah. Anyway, we're moving on to our main topic today. But then if you've not played, time for you to play *281#. We're giving out 1,000 Ghana cedis this morning to 2 people, 2 draws. So make sure you're playing right now. 9:55 exactly. We will talk to the winners. So UNESCO, the story says UNESCO to list High Life as Ghana's intangible heritage this year. Intangible heritage this year. The story says Amasewa Nikwe Tete, the Secretary General of Ghana Commission for UNESCO, has mentioned that High Life will be listed by UNESCO as Ghana's intangible heritage this year. She made this announcement on July 13th, 2024 during the Telecel Ghana Music Awards Industry Mixer, which was held at the Palm Convention Center in Accra, speaking about UNESCO's contribution to TGMA's Music Hall of Fame, which is in the offing. And I think I heard of that this weekend, Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, the conversation is.
Wow.
You finish your.
Let me finish the story. Amma noted that after years of consideration, High Life will be recognized by the international organization as a product of Ghanaian origin. This year at UNESCO, we are listing High Life as an original product of Ghana, she noted. When the host KOD raised the issue of controversy surrounding the true origin of High Life, Amma said after putting in the application, no other country came up to contest Ghana's claim of owning High Life. BNP, nobody.
Like when you're going to, like, the pastor is about to declare people married, and then they say, speak now or forever hold your peace.
We say, High Life is for Ghana. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Niger people say, them our own. Well, them our own. Well, finishing up in the final paragraph of the story, it says we have put in the application, and we haven't heard anyone claiming it's originated from their country. We know the history, and so we are finalizing that, she said. Now, this comes after a series of engagements and conferences organized by the Ghana Folklore Board and the Ghana Cultural Forum to discuss plans by which Ghana's High Life can be listed as UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage. Let's listen to what happened or what transpired at the Palm Convention Center. I wasn't there, but then I can give you information that people within themselves don't have. I'll be right back.
This year at UNESCO, we are listing High Life.
Okay.
Oh, yes. As an original product of Ghana.
Please tell, as an original product of Ghana, please. The last time I saw a documentary on High Life, it was focused on Nigeria and different parts of West Africa.
No, we have put in the application, and we haven't heard anyone else claiming that it originated from their country. We know the history.
Okay.
And so we are finalizing that. And so with Ghana's name fully cemented as the originators of High Life, I know this is not only a High Life museum, but then it further gives people who want to study High Life a place to come to learn this. It also puts Ghana right up there with all the other countries and places that have good music museums.
Definitely.
And so we encourage this, we try to support. I've already mentioned linking them to other museums and collections so that they can share best practice.
Well, that is Ama Sewa Nikwe Tete. I hope I got the name right.
Yeah,
Tete.
Yeah, Tete.
Uh-huh. She's saying that no country came forward after they talked about Ghana owning High Life. No country stepped forward, so now they are finalizing it. And this morning I have Fifi Coleman, I have Robert Clark, Kwame Dazi, and the usual suspect, Mr. Edem Chotome, who made it there. I have certain videos of him I'll share with him privately after this morning's discussion. How huge or how important is this? I want to understand it. Let me start with you, Kwame Dazi.
I think it's huge.
How huge?
Very, very huge. Because we've been debating the origin of High Life, even though most of us in Ghana think that High Life is ours. Some Nigerians also think that it is theirs. I remember some time ago, Professor John Collins said that he went to a conference in Nigeria and they were claiming that High Life was of Nigerian origin. So he had to come in because he had been with us for a long time, schooled here, produced music here, played music here. And he was even a journalist and a lecturer, and he had documented High Life. So he knew the history and had to school them there. I've heard people say High Life is even Liberian, of Liberian origin.
Yeah.
And the reason they cite this is the fact that before we named this genre High Life, High Life had its basis or its foundation from the palm wine High Life, the guitar, Ahomensian High Life days. And the people that actually taught our forefathers the two-finger picking technique, picking out take two sounds. Before that, our forefathers were playing the string instruments, the harp and all that, but they were not doing the two-finger picking technique until they came into contact with the Liberians, the crew people from Liberia, and they taught them how to do that. And so Liberians thought that they laid the foundation, even though, just like hip life, we named the genre High Life, but they thought that the rhythm, the traces, they also had it. If you go to Liberia, they also have High Life music in there, even Sierra Leone and Nigeria. But the thing is, the fact is, we named the genre because we were doing our local Ghanaian music, and then after adding the foreign musical instruments, the ones that we didn't have in our locality, to our music, they named it High Life, as in for the people of the high class, the elite. So High Life music. And then we had different types of High Life music, from the palm wine to the guitar band to the big band to the dance band to a number of them, to the regimental music. It's a brass band now. These are forms of High Life music. And so we've had different types of this genre, which we believe as Ghanaians is ours because we put it together, branded it. The first High Life or musicians to have recorded High Life, that was 1920.
Wow.
Okay, the Kumasi Trio. And in history, they are one of the people that laid the foundation for us. Before you can come and mention the Jacko Onimos, mention all the other people that came after that. So we own High Life. Whenever the controversy comes and we are asking where High Life comes from, and people want to rob us of what belongs to us, it's very painful. UNESCO has been doing this for some time now. The fact that they also cater to cultural needs of the globe or the universe, countries across the world, it's very important that they document some of these things. So you go to, let's say, Congo, they have the rumba, which is also an intangible cultural heritage in UNESCO's books. Then we have, a few years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago, reggae also had its genre, or Jamaica had reggae documented as well, listed. So if it's coming to Ghana, and let me say big ups to the people that pushed this through. The Cultural Forum, the Folklore Board, I heard they went into several meetings with UNESCO for this particular thing to be done. So when I heard Amma say this during the TGMA mix, I was very happy because it's been in the office for some time now, for a number of years now, and knowing that gradually we're going to have it documented. Nobody can come and say that, oh, we own High Life music. This is ours. And even at a time when we are trying as much as we can as a people to push High Life to a certain level, it tells us that, yes, this is ours and we need to cherish it. Then also brings to mind the need to preserve it. And I've always said that preserving High Life is not just about we staying to the kind of High Life that Jacob Sam and the Kumasi Trio did or Jack Onimo did in the past, or maybe the kind of highlight that E.T. Mensah did. Preserving means that making room for changes, making room for other things to be added to high life music, because high life, since its inception, hadn't been just one type of sound. It's been different sounds. At a point in time, it's like brass band. E.T. Mensah's style of high life was different from Papa Youngson, or
the
maybe
Boga
exactly
life,
to the Boga high life, coming to something called contemporary high life, to what we have to hip life, to all the other genres. So I believe that this should not just be the fact that now we have high life being listed by UNESCO as a heritage, but it should be that what are we doing to preserve it? To me, the preservation is not just about we doing what we call authentic high life. Most times, TGMA faces this challenge. You nominate a song and they tell you that this song is not real high life because it doesn't sound like, let's say, Konimo or Ampedu's type of high life. Forgetting that even the very foundation of high life, the high life that we did during the very beginning, had influences from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because these crew sailors had learned how to play the guitar from the Westerners because they were on sail with them all the time and they were learning from them. So from the beginning, we had influences from outside the country. So we should make room for other fusions. Even though the DNA will still be alive, we should make room for other fusions so we can preserve and grow high life music. Other than that, this listing wouldn't really make any meaning to me because if you are saying that we still need to preserve and promote high life, the core meaning is we need to make room for things.
Preserve and promote.
Yes, make room for things. Make room for things that will actually make this high life live with us for a longer time.
Okay, Adam.
Yeah, man.
My brother, how you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Your take on this?
Yeah, for me, I think it's a good thing. We need to safeguard and protect high life because if you listen to, the histories from the historians' point of view, some of the elder musicians, they all point to the fact that within those number of years, from the 1918s to the 20s, where the Ghanaian bands were mostly playing foreign music, it was there that it metamorphosed to them trying to play street music. And it's difficult to point to other groups from other parts of the world, Africa, who were doing similar. From how they were able to name the genre high life to, how guitar, the introduction of guitar into the system, changed the whole narrative of the palm wine music among others. So it is quite crucial for us to, lay claim to it so that the argument doesn't continue because anybody can make the argument, but what are the facts to make the argument? And that is where, mostly it falls to, Ghana. I've listened to Abriche Bakufisame talk about how they took high life music to Nigeria, because of the coup d'etat, among other things. That was even the 80s. And before that, we had done it. We had a lot of people who had done high life music. The Jack Onimos and others. So our stars going there, Boba J, Adolfo, and a couple of them going there made the genre more popular. And the one of the greats of Nigeria music, Fela, always make that reference to Ghana when it comes to high life music and how it's even inspired his style of music. So it is very crucial that we are able to safeguard that and officially make it our own. And big ups to those who saw the need and saw the vision to be able to protect it because, it's something which is even crucial when it comes to what has become very popular in the world. That comes straight from high life, and we need to have that in our books to be able to, tell our story to the generations who are coming and yet to come.
Okay. Before I invite Robert in, I believe is lay mind on top of what Camidoh said. If we are thinking of promoting high life, I think proper education also needs to be done. I think we need to internalize the brand and also educate how well do we as citizens of this country even know the high life music, how it originated. Because I think the story about high life music needs to be retold time and time and again for us to understand it ourselves. Because I don't see why we should have a conversation about high life music, a certain song being nominated for high life music at the TGMA, and Ghanaians are fighting it. Like we do, we want ourselves.
High life comes in just one form.
I mean, we don't understand it. So
before variations, variant of
no, it's not in those days. The days are still here.
Yes.
So if you go to the various, I think parts of Ghana, from the Ashantis, the Voltarians, from the Westerners, Central. I mean, they all had their forms. Even Ghana, they all had their forms of, high life music, introducing their local elements into that fusion. So that variation needs to be accepted. I mean, there is no one way.
That is it, because the problem now is the problem that I see, and it might not be a problem, it might be a challenge, that we as citizens don't even understand high life itself. It's like we don't understand it. But anyway, Robert is here.
I think that we need to also make space and understand that in every space there are people who are like thought leaders in a particular space, and we need to allow them to be able to drive the agenda when it has to be done. We need clear musicologists who will speak to matters, and they should settle things. You understand? And our higher institutions, which are there for research purposes as well, should be able to contribute to some of these things, because they are responsible for officially teaching these elements, and you can always borrow from them and then be able to use that. So that's why I always like the fact that every now and then we make reference to people like Professor Collins' works, because it is written and he speaks to it constantly. And even in this document, I think the High Lifetime, you will see the predictions about it in terms of what's supposed to be in the future and all of that. So in there, there's a lot of information out there, which speaks to it. Now, with respect to the fact that this the whole cultural heritage about high life and music preservation, it sits within the conventions of the UN, and the conventions of the UN is clear about the fact that countries have pledged to be able to protect their cultural heritage. And the elements are not just the tangibles like the monuments that we have, we also have the intangibles. And the music falls under the intangible, just as Kwame has explained. And in line with the preservation is really why we also have the Ghana Music Hall of Fame and Museum concept, because it's still about preservation. People have done works, huge works. The people that have done the works themselves, all of these things. And this is about legacy of a particular country. Why allow it to go waste? You understand what I'm saying? So for 25 years, we've sat on data, we've sat of information that we think is immediately a good starting point to be able to tell the Ghanaian story from that particular lens. But then the pre-Ghana Music Awards era also exists, which goes into all the high life elements and the history and all of that. Imagine if this particular thing already existed as a museum that had the information. There's no need for anybody to argue. You understand? So it's good we are addressing it now, and we are working with the partners responsible in this particular field so we can do that. Everything and anything about hip life, for example, once this particular thing is in place, well curated information, documented, and then it's out there for as long as it exists, whether for students, researchers, or tourists, when they get to Ghana and they visit a place like that, all the information they are going to get it. So I think this particular activity it's not about just sitting well with the UNESCO conventions. It's actually very, very important for ourselves. We need to preserve that which we have, and then the works of our fathers, the works that they have done, the people who have contributed their quota, they're consistently be celebrated, so that it's not like you've forgotten somebody because the person is not active anymore. Anytime you go to the museum, you should be able to see that which you're supposed to see. So that's why we are particularly glad and particularly happy about this. It's a legacy project, and the Hall of Fame component just gives it life every year. Because every year you have an opportunity to be able to say this person gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, so to say, yes. And of course, there'll be criteria for it, and those are some of the things that are open, and conversations will keep going. And we are particularly glad that the Ghana museums, after conversations with them, they have opened up windows, they've opened up doors for us to be able able to come, given a space to be able to work with them, to be able to achieve this. And we are working with the relevant partners. So the platform that we had and the sharing of the information there was to have a general call to the industry for relics, artifacts, all the elements that represents anything that a museum should represent, and we should go in that particular space to hard and be able to address what we need to address with respect to Ghana music.
I have this concern, and it's with respect to a certain era of our high life history that were seen, or that we heard it to be a little bit political, because there were certain high life songs or high life artists who were targeted politically. There could be manipulation as to the legacy around some of these things. So how are you gathering the information around some of these things? How are they going to gather so that we have the original information or unadulterated information being put out there about some of these records?
I think in as much as you get anecdotes, we also need to be able to go for the facts. And in there are people who know how to be able to get historical facts. Because I think that they usually rely on there are ways to be able to get it. People have been writing history for some time, and they always get multiple accounts, and then they are able to find the baseline elements and then use that as a basis to be able to say, and they even have the wording according to that kind of stuff. So I think that the most important thing is that we are willing. We are facilitators, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are the ones doing the work. We are going to work with experts, throughout, just to be able to get the right stuff and be able to, put it out there for posterity's sake. Everybody ought to be able to get into that space and then read the truth or anything that is closer to the truth, if you should say.
I asked this question on the back of, I think last time I was following up on Omambo Ajo. That's a song. I've forgotten the artist. So forgive me, but then there's a political side to that song, where during the Nkrumah era it was also seen as one of the songs that was supposed to raise awareness and cause a rebellion against that regime. And there are two different accounts on that same song. One claiming that it was a song that, the originator claiming that it's a song that he composed out of, the current economic conditions of the country. Some were also saying that, no, it was, some people who recorded with him were also saying that, it was just some of the vibes that came when he was recording. So these are some of the things.
I get you. But that's the story.
That's
his side.
That's the story.
So together is the story.
Exactly.
So how do we, that is why I'm saying, how do we get the original information?
No, so you start with the fact that this is what the person said.
And
then the fact that this is what others said around him.
You have a balanced
whatever.
story.
And so at the end of the day, this is what stands. But the truth, but then you now focus on the most important thing. The song was done, and this is the impact of the song.
That would be nice, though. Hoping it comes. We all will follow up on this one. But then Fifi is also here. Fifi, were you at the event?
No, I wasn't at the event.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was invited. I know. No,
you came the day before. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a different.
You got the invite.
Yeah, but they had two events back to back. Yes, in the same
So you
space.
couldn't make it.
Yeah, I couldn't make it. Yeah.
But then your thoughts on it?
But it is
high life.
High life. I said, when did we even get to question it? At some point, I wonder where was the miss? At what point did it become a thing where we have to decide whether it's Ghanaian or not?
When Nigeria started claiming that it was theirs.
See, and that's and it is nowhere.
And
I don't know whatever research anyone could pick any of the research books, research sites to ask. No one would list Nigeria. So what happened? Like, how did it even become a thing?
But Ghanaian Grammys also clearly said Ghanaian high life in one of their categories.
So it became like I'm wondering why we have to there's a push for us to claim it. Why? What was the need for the push to claim it? Because somebody, if because say, mommy, when on him say, oh, mommy, I'm not going to now go to. It's blood, it's in that sense, right? But there is the need, and I understand why we are at the position where, okay, now that everyone is grabbing, taking things, whatever it is, let us cement what it is for us as Ghanaians to own it. Everyone has spoke very, very nicely, and I really love it, right? The next step for me is, what do we do with high life now?
Yeah.
The next step, right? Yeah. And they talked about education and keeping the history going and not losing it and retelling the stories behind it and all of that thing. And it's very important that we understand that. I'm telling you, the Gen Zs, even some of the Gen Zs, going down to Omomo war classes right now, they don't know. They don't know how.
No, they care less.
They have no idea.
They care less.
No one teaches these things. Like, these are important things to be studied. Who is E.T. Mensah?
People like Kwame, they don't even discuss. They go to the days before E.T. Mensah.
Yeah.
Research more.
What I say? But
but I think the kids are learning about them, because recently I saw the BBC exam paper. I saw Konimo. I saw all these old musicians. Their names were in the questions.
Yeah, Bissau.
But they may not be as loud as
You want them to
current
be,
musicians, but
if
But
you
you
go
have
on
a
that
point.
tangent, I will show. There was something I won't even go there. Right?
You have a point,
I won't
you have
even
a
go there
point.
right now, because they make those books to sell, and then they specifically because because I wrote that book, right? I have to ask you a question from that thing,
Yeah.
so you know that it came from that book. There's a whole thing around it, but you and I, we are the stroke people. We know how our stroke numbers will let you know exactly what is going. But I love the idea that we're finally I don't like. I've always known it's ours, but what do we do with it as we're moving forward is important to me, and I can tell you for a fact. Next year, I'm doing a play on how the play. Every music is a musical, and all music is live singing of music, high life songs.
when you said what are we doing, the first thing I came out, like a musical, like a theater musical on
High life, yes.
So you just talk.
Yes, and this has been in the works for, and I mean, national. Now, I called it Showcase in Ghana. I even said I call it Showcase in Ghana. And we're talking about whether we should go and look for the name. We can use even the title because it used to be a thing. I said I can even call it Akandam. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's all about high life songs and what it used to be with the or brass and the whatever it is, and bringing people in and live singing of all of these songs, like. And just to re-energize ourselves about what we used to have and how great and rich that music was for us. So exciting news. Let's do something with it now. That's my claim on that one.
There seems to be a disconnect, and most of the time when I meet younger the new school, the Gen Z artists, some that I believe by hearing their sound are high life artists, claim to be Afrobeat artists. I feel there's a disconnect, and that is where maybe the Nigerians are saying that they are the originators of, because they have been able to advance on the sound. Now, in advancing the sound to fit the modern market, some believe that we don't have to, touch even some of the core or the essence of the sound itself. Some also have of the belief that it should advance to meet modern needs. I don't know your stance on these things.
Have you heard your darling's new song?
Yes. Do you want me to play it?
That is high life music.
If you want me
Proper
to play
high
it,
life.
I can.
You can play it.
Yeah, back you're saying proper again.
So the conversation.
You see, it's proper. Okay,
That would be proper.
No, it's proper high life music. I'm using that in loose terms.
No, because you see, then again,
It goes back to
what you guys said
I
it.
understand. I
And
get
then you
you
can also, because when you take Makuma,
But when you
what
take,
sort of music
when
is
you
it?
take
That's
when you take your darling's
Makuma is not
wait
hip
when you take your darling's
Makuma is
wait
Baga
when you take your
Highlife.
darling's new song. What's the title? I've forgotten.
Yeah, down in TGIF.
TGIF.
Let me see if I
You
can
you will hear what we claim to be the indigenous Ghanaian highlight, the Yam Ponsan rhythm in there, but it has some modern touch. The instrumentation and the programming is a bit of a modern flair. You see, compared to the old, very, very old high life song that we have. So I was saying the real, trying to make reference to what people know as is that when they hear Yam Ponsan or Sichi rhythm or Kwao, then they think that is what is the proper high life. But we also accept the fact that high life has grown into different forms.
But let's not forget, you see, because anytime we talk about high life and some refer to only these elements, I'm also listening to the Palogo elements that basically defines it. And let's not forget it. And out of it, so you have the Jama aspect. And all of they are all high life.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, the
Professor
traditional
Don Collins will
songs,
tell you Palungo isn't high life, but it's debatable because
elements.
As we grew, they were doing fusion.
Elements,
So
exactly.
So
the
it falls
elements.
apart. But
because anytime they go,
because Palogo is like any of the very traditional local rhythms. It's just like maybe Apatampa or Agbaja. It's on its own. But you can develop, you can improve upon Palungo
I wish we
to
had
become a high life.
I wish we had the definitions of that. Because you see, I think I've read one that
okay, so
actually
what-
speaks to infusions of the.
I get you.
The
But
infusions of our
Palungo
traditional
in
songs.
itself as
Yeah, but I'm
It's
not
a
talking about
traditional
Palogo. I'm not, yeah, you see, but I'm not
Exactly.
talking about
So
Palogo
what-
in itself. I'm
Okay.
talking about Palogo influences.
I agree.
Hold up. Wait, hold up. Pre High Life, we had Palogo, right?
No, Palogo was after High Life.
It was after High Life.
Yes.
So all of these things became a derivatives of High Life as a mean. Before High Life, what did we have?
Before High Life, we had our
Traditionals.
traditional
The
rhythms.
kitty, the
Palogo is
adwa.
actually
Palogo
one
was-
of the, Palogo is one of the
Palogo was
modern
one of-
versions of the traditionals.
That came after.
Okay, hold up.
High
No, quick one. So from what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
If the kitties and were all existing before
Yes,
whatever,
those
what
ones.
was existing before Palogo for the guns?
I think I've forgotten, but
They
have.
obviously had rhythms or.
I think what I'm getting at is that for that because we're talking about the origin of High Life, the sailors and everything that came through, right? Whatever it is, and they had, we have to have an influence of what we had before
Exactly.
that in there,
Yeah.
somehow. So for me, I feel like there are bits of that, whatever existed before Palo, whatever the kitty, whatever it is, all had to come together.
It makes
Plus
sense.
what we learned.
yeah, so that's what we're
makes
saying.
sense.
That's what we're saying. That the traditionals
you are saying
have
the same thing.
Traditional songs. You're saying the same thing. The
Yeah.
traditional songs have got influences.
Yes.
In that particular space. Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, we're still on Daybreak Hits here on Hitz FM. Showbiz Review proudly brought to you by Betway Franco Trading Enterprise. If you be business owner, you say thank God it's Monday, but if you worker, you say thank God it's Friday. I will be any baby ojina.
Business also a weekend there, yeah. We just
Oh yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. So business no weekend. So life, it be perspective. That be all.
Yeah.
That's the best way we feel describe life.
Your position determines your vision.
Exactly. And of course, in general, our mission is missions. In our next story, we're having a look at the conversation we had with legendary actor Ajetian last week on the show. And we're having a conversation with bits and pieces here to try. He didn't come on. And I asked him this question. And he responded this way. I want us to listen. He's saying that we have lost a lot of our audience to theater. And when he says we, it's not the we smoke. It's about we being actors. See, movie have lost a lot of their audience to theater. We have Fifi Coleman in the building, and then we want to find out from him when we come back steps that theater took to overtake cinema.
I'd rather say that we've lost some to the theater, rather.
Okay.
And
what do you think it might be the cause?
Well, I think that content. I think that we haven't done a lot of work in terms of the stories that we're telling. Either a bit mediocre, and stories that we're fed up with movies that are of a Western nature, because they see all these things on Netflix and other platforms, and you can't tell them more than they can, So why don't we do stories that are really our stories that people can relate? People have an idea of, they can mention hearing our local dialects in our movies, and our food and our costumes, etc. Things that would, people feel that they have an interest in what we're doing. I think that those are the things that we've lost out in, and audiences have become very. They can more or less predict what they're about to see, and so they rather prefer going to the live theater.
That presents more traditional content that they can relate to.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Ajeti Akasa. But Fifi is here. Fifi, this business, inside proper. I was always say, inside proper. But do you agree, first and foremost, that cinema has lost its audience to theater?
It has.
Okay.
It has. I believe, like, what he's spot on everything that he said. It has, and they should be worried. Cinema should be very worried, because there's the theaters are growing at an exponential rate that they are not catching up. Because the cinema is trying to catch up with the Netflixes and trying to catch up with the other markets and what they are doing in terms of the stories they are telling, the how relevance of stories and all of those things. So that's where they are looking at. And the theater is looking at what the Ghanaian on the market wants to see for himself, to uplift themselves, to think about, oh, this is ours. This is what it meant to be A, B, C, D, and all of those things. Because the make-believe elements in cinema and when we do film, I keep on telling people there's only so much you can tell somebody. There's something called suspension of disbelief. You do know it is not true, but there's only so much of you that can accept that it's not true, but I'm going to enjoy it and believe I like it is true. You understand what I'm saying? And we have pushed the envelope that down the throat of Ghanaians when it comes to that so much that at now, like, what is this? You know, what are we doing? You understand what I'm saying? Any nation that did great in cinema and both theater at the same time told stories quintessential to who they are. And they were very true to it. They were very authentic to the stories that is happening in their communities, where I can actually, there are stories where you can tell, and then there are some stories you could actually see the conjectures, like, where is this one coming from? This one from here, down from here, and they put it all together and then they tell a story. The glamour ones is very beautiful to see in the screens. The girls are very beautiful in the scenes, the music, the picture quality, and all of those things. But the content, the meat of what you are serving people, it's not there. We lack writers. We lack proper writers, people who can write. You understand what I'm saying? We have treated the industries like as a personal, like a one-person industry, and it's affecting us. What we do is a collaborative art. That is why you have 8 writers on a script. That is why from this table, it goes to that table, it goes to that table, it goes to that table. It goes around and it goes through the test of time for it. Say, okay, fine, it's an authenticated thing. We can use it now to give it to the people to consume. What is theater? It's a lot of repetition. We rehearse every day. We're doing the same thing over and over again to get to be master at something. So if the content is not working there and then we are fixing it, what happens after that? It becomes a live entertainment thing for you. The audience wants to see the people who are feeding them the information. After there, and then there's instant satisfaction. There's this thing where an actor gets from the direct feedback from the audience that he's looking at, and the audience also seeing that's the guy who did. Oh, like he's there. He actually knows his craft. Yeah. I can tell you right now, there's some screen actors that would beg me not to call them for theater. They would see you and say, Charlie, your thing be like I go do. No, I beg no, I don't make ready. Because even in all of those, there are differences. You understand? We lost them. They lost it from cinema because when we started, and then everyone knows this history about when the Ghana movie was here, and then it dropped and everything, and then all of that. Right? When it was here, look at the stories we were telling. We were not telling anything that has got to do with wearing winter coats in Ghana in movies. No one was doing that. The songs we were using were purely our Ghanaian songs, underlaid with all the highlights or whatever. When Shelley even started, Shelley had this thing that I love so much. It was that matching the dish songs and everything. It was just so beautiful. Like you being aside the when you hear the song, like you're home. Yeah. Like you're settled. There's something about those things. Yeah. So that is what is happening. And another key thing that we're losing is also that how many producers are out there right now? Okay.
Before you jump into production, the stories I want to chip in this. I asked Ajite when he was here last week that these stories of luxury opulence and all that, these stories, aren't they real? Because what I might be going through at, let's say, a less deprived area might not be the same thing that somebody where they Trasaco or somebody where they one of these big estates may be going through. And they also have stories to
tell, yes. So that's their story. But I'm going to ask a quick question, right? We fight in Ghana, right? Yes. When you go to Circle right now, today I'm sure a fight will break up in Ghana. Right? If I want to represent the fight that broke up at Circle and they are fighting karate, how would you feel about that?
But then
no, how would you feel about that? It's like, how do we tell our version of the opulence? Why is our opulent story looking like something? Because it's a make-believe system. How much of it is out there? How much of it is the meat that you're trying to sell? And we cannot say we have to, because, and it's something that a very great mentor of mine used to say, that we cannot keep telling the stories of Ghana old where we are hungry and then we are poor and then they see us in tighter clothes on that. Yes, so an element of our stories also has to talk about where we were, where we are now, and what is actually present. It is now that people can watch and say, oh, there are these cars in Ghana. Oh, there, see it. Everyone touches on something, but that movie that you sold what audience did it please so much to want to know? The Ghanaian knows the cars are already here already. So when I make a movie like that, I'm not making it for the theater goer here or the cinema goer here. I already know Despite has these vintage cars, whatever it is, right? Yeah. I know it already. So when you're showing it to me in a movie, as versus the person who is thinking we are still living on trees, who is more interested in that story?
You should have to sell it to that guy.
But that guy is also used to Hollywood standard of production. That guy is used to what he's seen on Netflix and whatever it is. So as soon as your opening credit starts running, and there's some elements in there, you look at it, it's like, okay, so this one, okay, that's it. You've lost that guy, and you've also lost the guy who's here who wants to relate to the story you want to tell.
Okay, so it's more about marketing and targeting.
Yeah. Because if your target market is not the Ghanaian, who's like going to come to your theater, to come your one theater, to come and see.
You have new air conditions in that one theater.
No, not even they're not the national theater. If it's cinema, we're talking about Silverbed right now. Right? The one person who's going to go there in the same floor, they are competing with what's it called? The Bad Boys 3. They are competing with that, and then we're all coming in. What would make me actually go like? There has to be a sense of this sense of pride to want to go and see what is mine. But when I go there to see what is mine, but the story is not really appealing to me, but the story is told to appeal to a higher, those people don't even go to the theaters. They just get it, straight on there, whatever, and then they watch it.
Coming straight to a pen drive near
you. And that's it, and then they are gone. And then they're gone. But unlike the theater, like yesterday I was at Roverman's the takeover, it's almost about even the quality of audiences that come through. Like it's older women, and all these like you could tell the elite. Let me say the elite of the elites, whatever it is, like all classes, all very well kept together, come thronging theater to watch a live performance with high life music and all of those songs being played and everything in there, and the beats that we are talking about here, and more appealing to them. So like I'm watching, I am gone than. Then go to sit in the theater and watch something I cannot really fully relate to.
Anyway, you are talking about production.
Well, the production business, when it comes to all of this, is quite a different, ball game when it comes to these productions. What I keep on saying is that we have run away from, which is good, from where the areas where we had there were the rampecs and the square holes and whatever it is. People who had no business being in that industry were in there because we sold it in such a way that me fa camera na me twa nkrofo to be me friend madam for ne ya you bet my premier sis ya you be nya movie
uni me
you friend say
friend pole madam for ba ko bi kwame am no twa pole pa
Yep. So we have been able to do now we're able to weed them out. Like it's funny. The system had them out on its own. You don't exist anymore. But then out they went. In came zero. So right now, if I ask you for production houses in Ghana producing movies, making movies, name 5.
Hey Charlie, you talk something on
the whole Ghana.
Peter Sedofia's company has it.
Old film.
Okay.
No, if you catch 5, bro.
Farmhouse?
Farmhouse is not in the film.
It's not in the film. Bro, 5.
Let's go. Give me 5.
Even 3 7 go hala.
Sparrow
Production.
Come on, let's go, people. They're giving me 5.
Yvonne Nelson's?
YN.
Hey.
So that's what the problem is. If I have to really think this hard, and he's an entertainment whatever it is guru right now. So even for him, who should even though what it might not be enough for him, if you understand where I'm coming from. So we keep on crying about this, about who's actually producing to put it there. Why are they not producing to put it there? Because the amount of money you are putting in, there is zero way you are getting that money back. Why? Because there's no distribution. We've talked about this over and over again. If we can jump into this, it will take us 2 hours to talk about this particular subject. So everybody's trying to find another means of having to do the same craft. That gave birth to the YouTube, content creation and all of those things. It gave birth to that. And now people have to realize that, listen, it's YouTube. Charlie,
That's where we did. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Look at me. My life need.
You understand
that? He gets more money from doing the aggressive interviews than.
I sat with Kwekumenu 2 to 3 weeks ago, and then before we even put on the lights and the camera, we're having a one-on-one conversation. And I asked him why he decided, Charlie, to move on to YouTube. I told him that, yo, bro, why am I And this is one professional seasoned actor.
Yep, and we used to think that because of data, people wouldn't go to YouTube. People don't care anymore. They will buy the 10 CDs and bundle it and watch a YouTube movie right away. They pay 10 CDs for that thing.
The content is good.
That's it. You move from there. But another subject, right? See, I'm telling you this, Slim. It's not a joke. The first question somebody asked me was, why are you using females as prisoners? And I was like, wait, why not? There are female prisoners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at how we have been oriented, right? Every time we hear prisoner,
We think
You say Bema, and you for be bole, you for be bole. You drop plenty.
That's the first. As soon as they say prisoner, that's what you think about. I said, why women? I said, women also commit crimes.
Yes.
They're all over the place. They're committing crimes here and there. Whatever. These girls went in. One went in for murder. One went to steal electrical cables. One went to take money from under the bed where she was not supposed to take the money from.
Wow.
Yes.
Electrical cables.
Electrical cables, I'm telling you. No, imagine a woman climbing, like, cutting electrical cables.
There are
whatever.
some like that.
There's something like that.
Senior woman.
Yes. And it's like people.
Some serving breakfast.
I'm telling you. I said, people, these women are coming out, right? They have done the sentence, they are coming out now. And it's funny, one of them wants to become an software, and that's what he's training right now. Yes. He says he's forming the first democratic church of Ghana. The church for the people, by the people. Yes. All
Has
of that.
she been called by God or she called herself?
No, see, who calls who now? It's the tithe. Who is calling who? It's the number of people paying the tithe now.
God calls.
So
Jesus saves.
Prison graduates, I'm
Get
telling
any
you,
call from God?
these graduates will break down everything for you. Come and watch Prison Graduates. I'm only saying this. I don't want you to miss it and say, oh, Fid, would you want to do it again? Prison Graduates, 26th, 27th July, National Theatre, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. Come and watch Prison Graduates. So
I'm coming because it's an all-female version.
cast,
Because
yes.
I watched the
male
male
one,
one.
yes.
I would want to see that.
These women, you will not believe the things they can do.
Bring some females along too.
Of course.
Kwame does it.
Oh yeah, I have female.
They have your videos, though. Your videos are everywhere right now.
I have a private video. I'll share that
One
with you.
female colleagues from the
Anyway,
office.
thank you, Fifi, for joining us this morning. Thank you, Kwame.
Yeah, what videos? Be
For Adam.
Big ups to Avalon Clothing for my outfit for the industry mixer last Saturday.
Oh wow,
Wesley gone. I mean, he did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I appreciate. Big ups to him.
Monsanye
So
B, Monsanye
link up
B.
with him for the best.
Okay. Akusia Kanga to go bigger.
Oh, Akosia. Big shout out to Akosia.
Okay.
Big shout out to him.
Adam.
Shut up, Joe boy.
Anyway,
Total man.
A billion thanks to our sponsors, Betway, and Betway has FlyX. I keep on saying this anytime you're playing on www.betway.com.
This is Hitz.